Hey, it's Matthew Donegan-Ryan. Last week, many of you probably viewed Tesla's shareholder investor day. I was one of the lucky 50 retail shareholders that was able to attend in person. So I'm posting a series of videos to share what I learned about the Cybertruck, key manufacturing insights from Tom Zhu, as well as a few things that I learned or confirmed about the Tesla Semi. Some of these insights have been leaked in the past, but today I'm sharing what was confirmed to me by Tesla executives, plus adding a bit of my own commentary. Everything that I'm sharing in this series of videos, this was all told to me by Tesla employees. Most of these employees were people who were either on the stage during Investor Day or during the Semi delivery event, or who will be on stage during the first Cybertruck delivery event or the next Cybertruck unveiling. Plus, during the actual presentation, I was seated with employees rather than with other investors. So sat beside two very long-term employees, employees who've been with Tesla for over a decade and learned a ton from them as well. So, this isn't information I'm receiving from, newer or lower level Tesla employees. This is all from executives and very high level people with the company. Keep in mind that everything that I'm sharing today, it's accurate as of today, but Tesla vehicles are never pencils down. Every Tesla vehicle is improving, sometimes during weekly iterations. So whatever you hear today, expect changes in the future. So let's start with autopilot and full self-driving. So I got a lot of questions about this on Twitter, so I'm going to go through that. At the end of all the points I share, I'm also going to answer some other questions that I got on Twitter. The Semi does have all necessary full self-driving hardware. This was previously announced, but it was confirmed to me by the head of Tesla Semi. They are still programming and configuring it to the Semi yet. Tesla did confirm to me that the vision-based traffic-aware cruise control is currently active, as are other autonomous features. I asked if that included auto steer, and I got a no comment, on any other autopilot or FSD features. The Semi, what I did find out is the Semi will not require mobile cameras to be added to the trailer it's towing. So all FSD functionality will function using the cameras on the tractor. So that was pretty good to hear, because there was a lot of rumors of, Tesla might have, one or two or three little remote cameras that a driver would have to mount to their trailer. That's not the case. The cameras are only mounted on the tractor. So my thoughts on this is that, one is FSD is close to being solved. I've been using FSD beta for months. I've got multiple Tesla vehicles. They all have FSD beta. It works, not quite flawlessly, but it is fantastic. So the heavy lifting for programming FSD is done. Adapting FSD to the larger footprint vehicle is the easy part. That's not as hard as building FSD from the start. Tesla is using the same real-world AI for the Tesla Bot, which is a much greater undertaking, but essentially the Semi is just a big car that's towing a trailer. So I think the migration from, a Model X towing a boat to a large tractor towing a trailer is not that big of a jump. The other thing to remember for Tesla is the important thing is scaling production of the Semi. Tesla will sell every single Semi they can make for the next decade. So although having FSD would be nice, it will have zero impact on Tesla sales, on the Tesla Semi sales, because they're going to sell them all anyway. Next thing I learned, this is exclusive. I haven't seen this posted anywhere else, but if you go on the Tesla website, or if you watch the past Tesla Semi kind of announcement, they said that the Tesla Semi will have 3 motors on the rear axles. This has actually changed. So Tesla told me the Semi will still have 3 motors, but there's one on each axle. So a semi-truck, the tractor typically has 3 axles, one in the front and 2 in the rear. So in the past, there was 3 motors, 2 on one rear axle, 1 on the other rear axle. Now that's changed. There's 1 motor on each rear axle. The 2 rear axle motors have the torque motors. This is for accelerating and hill climbing. I was told this by by Tesla execs. They did not confirm to me, but I believe this means these are hairpin motors. So the rear two will be hairpin motors. They also told me that the front motor is a cruising motor. So on the front axle, there's a cruising motor. Again, this next part, this wasn't confirmed to me, but I believe this means it's a wound motor. So the wound motor, these are actually wound by hand. They're about 5% more efficient than the hairpin motors. However, the hairpin motors, they are machine made. They're a lot cheaper to make, a lot faster to make, and they have 30% more torque. So during my tour of the factory, the motor team did tell me the torque motors, the hairpin motors have 30% more torque. The wound motors are 5% more efficient. Definitely recommend you watch Sandy Munro's videos if you want to learn more about those. So this news that, there's 3 motors, 1 on each axle. I know that's not the most exciting news to like a Tesla vehicle holder, but to a shareholder, this is important because what it means is the Semi is sharing the drivetrain best practices from the dual motor vehicles. They're just adding an additional rear axle with an additional motor. So if you think about like if you have a Model 3 or Model Y dual motor performance, in the front, you have your cruising motor, your high efficiency motor. In the rear, you have your torque motor that accelerates and gets you up to speed fast. The front motor, that's when you're on the freeway going 60 miles an hour. So what the Semi is, it's using that exact same concept. They're just adding one more axle, one more motor. I'm going to have more thoughts on this when I get into the Cybertruck video. I have, a lot of news about Cybertruck that is breaking. So I'll go more into the motors in that video. Back to the Semi. So next, the Semi will only have one charge port. So this isn't necessarily new info, but it was confirmed to me by employees. I know there's rumors that Tesla might have 2 charge ports, one on each side. There's speculation that a second charge port, perhaps, on the passenger side would allow for faster charging or increased convenience. And adding another onboard charger is a pretty low cost for Tesla for an expensive vehicle. If the Semi is going to cost $200,000, what's another, $600 for another onboard charger? It's not that much money. But there must be some reason that Tesla isn't doing that. So either it's not needed to charge faster, or it's just simplicity from a manufacturing perspective. The Tesla Semis, I believe, are hand built in Giga, Nevada. So you don't really need simplicity for manufacturing as much as you would on a mass-produced vehicle like the Model Y or the Model 3. But regardless, Semi is only going to have one charge port. And you'll see from the video, it operates just like the charge port on a Model 3 or Model Y. Very smooth, easy to use. The actual charger is a much larger unit. Next, the Semi will have 500-mile range with max payload. So I asked the Semi team if they will be able to drive from Giga Austin to Giga Monterey, which is about 390 miles, fully loaded, 80,000 or 82,000 pound payload without stopping to charge. And I got a very direct yes. So, a lot of questions I asked, I got like a kind of a yes or a kind of a no, but this was very much like absolutely. The Tesla will go from Giga Austin to Giga Monterey under max payload without needing to charge. This is pretty welcome news. There was unconfirmed rumors that Frito-Lay was getting, 500 miles of range with their trucks when they were loaded with potato chips, which are, pretty low density payloads. So it wouldn't be, max weight. And there might be some concern of reaching 5,000 miles with a max payload, like a full truck of Pepsi or something like that. So this news, it's not exactly surprising. When Tesla did release a video of a max payload truck traveling in California, going 500 miles in one trip without charging already. But this was another confirmation of that. So those are all the main points that I wanted to share. I'm going to go through a bunch of questions that I got on Twitter. If you have more questions about the Semi, the Tesla Cybertruck, or other things I might have learned from Tom Zhu, you can ask those in the comments. You could also ask me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @MatthewDR. Now I'm going to jump right into the questions. So I got a question from Garrett Blizzard, he asked, on the Semi, did you notice an ELD suite? And what was it? So ELD suite, this is a legal requirement. It's essentially the government in the U.S. or legal requirement here in the U.S. Basically want to track all the semi trucks, make sure the drivers are driving for the appropriate amount of hours and taking the appropriate breaks. So it is a legal requirement. So Tesla wouldn't be able to sell these without it. So I'm sure there is an app that does it. Obviously, Tesla vehicles, have onboard computers, a lot more digital than most competing trucks. So it's probably a lot easier for Tesla to comply with the ELD regulations than, something like a Freightliner or a Peterbilt truck. Also, you have to remember Tesla supports dozens of apps and even games on their vehicles. So imagine large commercial clients will be able to install their own apps or commission, Tesla to build a custom app for them over time. This will be really important for fleet vehicles. So I'm sure Tesla will support it at some time. Julie asked, when will the Tesla have autopilot? So we covered that a little bit. So yeah, the Tesla Semi will absolutely have autopilot. I didn't get a time frame. I was kind of told it will happen as soon as possible, but obviously Tesla isn't exactly known for beating autopilot deadlines. But like I said, whether or not the Tesla Semi has autopilot or has full self-driving is not going to impact how many Tesla Semis Tesla will sell. They're going to sell every single one they can make. Let's see. Gene Leeds asks, did you see the Roadster prototype anywhere? I'm getting concerned it will never come out. So yeah, no, we did not see the Tesla Roadster. The Tesla Roadster has been present at a lot of other Tesla events, but yeah, we didn't see it anywhere. We did see all the other vehicles, including the S3XY and the Cybertruck. But yeah, we did not see the next gen Roadster. I guess we also did not see the the OG Roadster. But you have to remember the Roadster is the dessert. To a Tesla shareholder, as much as I'd love to own a Roadster myself, selling Roadsters is going to have no impact on the overall business. It's going to be a low volume vehicle. It'll probably be pretty profitable, but it's going to be low volume. It's a nice to have. It will come eventually. I wish I had one right now, but it's not going to come before the Cybertruck, and frankly, it's not nearly as important as the next gen vehicle. What I imagine, this is pure speculation, but I imagine as these, the newer Gigafactories get up and running, things that are currently happening in Fremont, like Model 3 production and Model Y production, those will go to other factories like, Giga Austin, maybe another Giga on the East Coast, maybe Nuevo Leon at some point. That will free up Giga Austin to do, more of these hand-built or one-off or low-volume type vehicles. Fremont. It will free up Fremont to build the Roadster. So I imagine the Roadster will probably be built in Fremont. Pure speculation, but yeah, we did not see it. Let's see, we got another question. ManArtMart on Twitter asks, Semi looks narrow compared to a normal rig. Wondering what a normal box trailer would look like when hooked up to the Semi and spoil the aerodynamics of the Tesla Semi. I think you're probably just seeing a visual trick due to, the Tesla Semi is the best in class aero. It also has a center drive seat, so you're not sitting, in a left-hand drive vehicle like the trucks you're used to seeing. So I don't think it's any smaller. I mean, they had one outside with a not with a Frito-Lay trailer, but with a full 40-foot trailer on the back of it, and it looked just like same size as a normal truck. So I don't know the exact dimensions, but I imagine it's approximately the same footprint as every other tractor that pulls a large trailer on the market right now. Speaking of dimensions, I do know the Cybertruck dimensions, and I will be publishing those shortly, as well as Cybertruck tire sizes and things like that. So please do subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll be the first to see my Cybertruck video. Thanks, and again, ask your questions about the Semi, Cybertruck, or my conversation with Tom Zhu in the comments or on Twitter @MatthewDR. Take care.